So let's have a little chat, shall we? Black people are caught in a curse. Everything that's happening in regards to the George, excuse me, my sinuses are bothering me like always. But everything that is transpiring, let me say that, in regards to George Floyd's alleged death or murder, because, you can't really believe everything that you see on TV nowadays. So that's why I say alleged death or murder. Everything that we're seeing, we have seen before. A black man or black woman gets murdered by the police, mainly black men though. We get angry, we cry, we rage, we riot, we loot. The same thing happened in Baltimore, I believe, when Freddie Gray, I believe that was the young man's name, that was murdered by white police officers once again. And see, I'm not coming from it from an emotional standpoint. I'm looking at this from an occult standpoint, not an emotional one. We've seen this before, and the pattern is all the same. And see, as an occultist, this is what I do, because I am the occult view. As an occultist, I see the pattern. As a spiritualist, I see the pattern. And when I think of a curse, I think of a circle that never breaks. It's not that it can't be broken, but it never breaks, because no one is willing to step outside of that circle to break it. So when I think of a curse, I think of a circle, because a circle is something that goes around and around and around and around. And to me, that is what a curse is. It is a constant series, a series of constant negative experiences and events that never stop. And it happens in waves and in patterns, but it never stops. George Floyd, Alton Sterling, Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, and it goes on and on and on. The young woman who was body slammed by a violent, racist, white police officer, the Spring Valley High School incident that I talked about years ago, that a lot of black people were applauding. Remember when that white police officer, he looked like a fucking bodybuilder. He's probably some type of fucking clone or some shit like that, but he looked like a bodybuilder. He picked up a young black woman in the classroom. Now granted, she was being disruptive and being disrespectful to the black male teacher. I get that. But they should have sent a female into that classroom to discipline her in whatever way they needed to do that. They send in a big 6 foot tall, muscular white male. I think he was some type of resource officer for that school. They send him into the classroom and he body slams this young woman to the class. And a lot of people in the black community applauded that. And now we're crying about George Floyd, but we've been giving these people permission on a subtle level, subliminally, to treat us this way. But we just didn't know it. You know how like you tell your Mexican and Hispanic friends that they can call you the N-word? There's a big thing going on right now with this guy who plays on the show 911, Ryan Guzman. he is defending the fact that he uses racial slurs towards his black friends. And you can tell by, I examine people's energy. You can tell by examining his fucking energy that he really is he's a racist on so many fucking levels. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. He has no compassion in his voice. He's very nasty. Now the character that he's Mexican, by the way. He's Mexican. So go fucking figure. The point that I'm making is this. We set ourselves up for this curse that we're in. We put ourselves in it. When that motherfucker stood up in that courtroom, Botham Jean's brother, and that judge too, let's not take her out of it, when they gave that murderer, Amber Geiger, a hug in the fucking courtroom, that opened up the gateway even more. And nobody peeped that. That opened up the gateway for what happened to George Floyd and what continues to happen to black men and black women too at the hands of this savage system that we live in. We're walking under a curse. This is a constant cycle, a constant pattern of events that keep taking place. We get mad, we cry, we get emotional, we march, we protest, we loot, and then everything dies down, and then black people go back to treating others better than they do their own kind. Black people go back to being coons and coonettes. Black people go back to being the image or being the symbol of a Derek Chauvin. We go back to tearing each other down. We go back to attacking each other, doing spiritual work on each other, committing or declaring spiritual war on each other, directing our hatred and anger towards each other instead of directing it at the people who really fucking deserve it. And I'm not really talking about a skin color. I said the people that deserve it. I'm not talking race necessarily. Not talking race. Everything dies down and we go back to doing everything we did before these uprisings. Then a few years later, another black man gets killed and we do the same exact thing. Crying, making videos, retired. So my question is, and another spiritualist said this, asked the same question. What's the fucking end game? Because at some point, you're going to have to break the curse in order for there to be real fucking change. The change that you want. You're going to have to break that curse. Because right now you're walking in a curse. And only those with wisdom, can really see what the fuck is going on. We all know about sacrifices and we all know about the trauma, the repetition of trauma and the programming of the subconscious mind using trauma, repetition, and symbols. We all know about that. We see the symbol of the black man constantly being degraded, being murdered. We see that all the time. We see the same thing happen to the black woman. We see her symbol degraded and murdered, and we see that all the time. But who is going to break the curse? Because see, a lot of times people don't even know that they're walking in a curse. We're all walking in a curse in a way. We're all walking in our own curse, but it's about a person being able to recognize it and say, wait a minute, wait the fuck a minute. I remember I had a dream one time. I'm not going to get into that. No, I'm not going to get into that. That's personal. I'm not going to get into that because that's personal. I might talk about that another time. But I will say this about another dream. I've been having dreams about uprisings. Whenever I start dreaming about police officers and 911, whenever I start dreaming about that, then I know that there's an uprising coming. There's going to be some type of looting and protest. I know that's the symbol that is coming. And I had been having dreams about police locking up people. I had had dreams about the number 911. I had dreams about something in regards to the end of something. I'm not going to get into too many details, but now I know what that dream means. Those dreams were telling me that this was coming. This was coming. These protests, the looting. See, I know how to decode my own dreams. I know what to look for now because I've had a good spiritual mentor and tutor, but that's another story. But black people are walking in a curse because this is a constant pattern of negative events that keep taking place. It's a circle. We're walking the same circle around and round. It's almost like being a person who is dead and you don't know that you're dead and you're walking through the afterlife and you've lost your mind, you're crazy, you're trapped in your own insanity. That's what's happening to black people right now. George Floyd is just the current situation, I should say. And by no means am I minimizing what happened to him in no way, shape, or form. What happened to him was fucking horrible. That was some fucking savagery. Of course it was. That was savagery. That was fucked up. And I feel bad for his family. I have compassion for that. But I also can see the curse that we are walking in based upon these negative patterns and these negative events that keep taking place that we can't seem to change because the protesting, the looting, none of that seems to change anything. So it seems like the only thing that's going to change is if we wake up out of the curse. If we realize that we are cursed and we're walking in a curse. We're living in a curse. We're talking in a curse. We're breathing in a curse. And I'm referring to these patterns of events when black men are murdered unjustly. This is a constant pattern that keeps happening and it's not stopping. And the people at the top know that this is a curse. They know it's a curse. And keeping people walking in this curse, keeping people in this circle of events, keeping them distracted, that's the main objective. Because what people are not paying attention to is while everyone is protesting, let me say it this way, while everyone is protesting and while everyone is looting, which I'm not against. Let me say that I'm not against. I'm not against at all. Not against it. Because people are tired of seeing black men being unjustly murdered by these terrorists. Because that's what these men are. They are terrorists. I don't care what their skin color is. I don't care if they're white. I don't care if they're black. I don't care if they're Spanish. I don't care if they're Asian. They are terrorists with blue uniforms on, with a license to kill. These men are terrorists. I'm beyond skin color, because skin color keeps you in a trap. Okay? And I was getting ready to make a point, but I forgot. It'll come back to me, I guess. But we're walking in a curse, in a constant curse, in a constant circle, around, 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 and it keeps happening over and over and over again. Here's the point that I was going to make. It came back to me. While everyone is protesting and looting and doing and responding, and rightfully so, because people have a right to be fucking angry and pissed the fuck off. While everyone is doing that, in the UK, they just passed a law that if you don't live in the same house, you cannot have sex with that person. Let me say that again. In the UK, they just passed a law. If you are a person that does not live in the same house with another person, they're banning people from having sex, or they're trying to ban people from having sex with people who don't live in their household. Something along those lines. You all can look it up. So while we're protesting over the death of George Floyd, there are things being done in the underworld, I guess you could say, or on the down low or behind the scenes, that everyone is being distracted from right now because people are so upset. And if it's happening, if they're trying to pass that law in the UK, you better believe that that's going to have a trickle-down effect to the United States as well. Because I'm going to tell you something. The UK still owns the United States on the low. For real, the United Kingdom still owns the United States on the low. They just don't say it for political reasons. But the United States bows to that queen over there in the United Kingdom. So whatever happens over there in the United Kingdom, eventually it's going to trickle down to the United States. Eventually. See, the occult is all about things that are hidden. And that's something that is hidden from the public. So while we're all wrapped up in our emotions and hurting and angry and looting and protesting, which is rightfully so, but at the same time, we can't get so wrapped up that we don't pay attention to what's going on around us as well. Because this is just another part of the curse and the distraction. This is all part of the curse and the distraction. So now they're passing laws to prevent people from having sex with as many people they want to have sex with. They're passing it in the UK. And if they're passing it in the UK, they're going to pass it somewhere else as well. Eventually, that is going to become global law, that you cannot have sex with anyone outside of your household. They're going to pass that law. Or so they're trying to. Let me say that. They're trying to pass that law. But we can counter that motherfucking shit and say that law ain't gonna get passed. That's what I'm gonna say. It's not going to get passed, but they're trying to. They're trying to pass that law, but I say that shit gonna be flushed down the motherfucking toilet. That's what I'm gonna say. It's going to be flushed down the toilet. It's not going to even manifest. But I'm just giving you an example of what's going on behind the scenes while everyone is distracted right now by the George Floyd murder. And he was murdered. You're walking in a curse, black people. They're playing with your emotions. They're playing with your mind. They're playing with your spirit. They're toying with you. They're causing you to feel fear, chaos. Now, the reason it's not affecting me in that way is because I can see the bigger picture. The reason that it's not affecting me in that way is because I've done spell work to block that negativity. You feel what I'm saying? Because I have to have some normal, when you're a spiritualist, people call on you during times like this. I have to listen to what's going on in people's lives. And there are people who are dealing with some really, really, really hard shit in their lives right now. And I have to listen to that as a spiritualist. That is my ministry, I guess you can say. And I don't mean ministry in a Christian way. That's my ministry. That is what I do. I am a spiritualist, and I am the occult view, and I am Seer Grant. I am a seer, and I see things before they even happen. I saw this happening. Didn't know, wasn't really sure about, what it was all going to lead up to. But I knew something was coming because I kept having dreams about cops and the number 911 and people being arrested. And usually when I see that, that means it's about to be an upheaval, protest, rioting. Something is coming. I know that now. I know that now. But you're trapped in a curse, black people. You're trapped in a circle and a cycle of events. When I think of a curse, I think of cycles when I think of a circle, I think of cycles as well. A cycle of events that keep taking place. This is a pattern of negative events, and that's how you know that it's a curse. It's not a hex. This is a curse. It's a curse. And it's a distraction right now, so you won't see the other things that they're trying to really do and what they're implementing right now, and people are not paying attention to it. They're not paying attention to it because everybody is so wrapped up into their emotions right now, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Everybody's wrapped up into their emotions. But don't get so wrapped up that you can't see what else is being done or what is being done to distract you. You feel what I'm saying? The distraction is this entire thing going on with George Floyd right now. This is a constant cycle of events that keeps taking place with black innocent men being murdered by police officers. A constant thing. And while we're talking about it, how come they never found out who killed Darren Seals? The Ferguson, Missouri civil rights activist, handsome, brilliant young man. They shot him in the head, then they put his body in the car and set the car on fire. That was in 2016. And they never found out who did that shit. Now, from what I'm hearing, it was a black man and a white man seen walking away from the scene of the crime. So what the fuck is up with that? So you see what I'm saying? A constant cycle of events. This feels like 2016 all over again. The energy feels like 2016 all over again. It really does. But this is a curse, niggas. This is a curse. This is a constant cycle of shit that we keep getting distracted over and distracted with. And then after we come out of it, we find out, Oh, they didn't pass this motherfucking law. Oh, they didn't did this motherfucking shit. The COVID-19 virus, whatever you want to call it, this shit was in the making as far back as 1984. They showed you this in the movie Ghostbusters. The first one, the original one. In that scene, when they sing that song, or maybe it's magic, magic. Or maybe it's magic, magic. Remember that scene? Look at that scene and examine it. Examine it. They're talking about the COVID virus. And then remember 1984, when you break down 1984, it comes out to the number 4. We're right now, 2020, when you break that down, that comes out to what? The number 4. We're living under the vibration of the number 4. A lot of tumultuous things take place under that vibration because that is the number of war as well. It has many different, symbolic meanings, the number 4. It connects the spirit, the mind, the body, the elements, all of that, but it's also the symbol of war as well. Remember back in 2002, when we were up under the vibration of the number 4, what were we doing? We were at war with Afghanistan. That was right after 9/11. So go back and watch Ghostbusters, the first one. They're talking about COVID subliminally in that movie. Just thought I would throw that in there too. We're walking in a curse. And it's going to take somebody to really wake up and say, you know what? This is a curse. This is a curse. A constant cycle of negative events, negative patterns that seem to never end. Who's going to have the courage and the spiritual knowledge to end it? Not just protesting and using fire magic and looting, but who's going to have the wisdom to wake up after all of that? After you have gotten your point across, after you have fought back, then you have to have the wisdom to break that motherfucking curse so you won't have to continuously do that over and over again. Sometimes you gotta motherfucking fight. Sometimes you gotta protest. So to the people that's talking about, oh, you need to stop, what the fuck ever. What the fuck ever. And I'm saying it just like that. What the fuck ever. What the fuck ever. And I'm sending every protective energy around our brothers and sisters that are out there in that motherfucking shit dealing with that. I'm sending every spirit out there to protect them. See, it's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes and I'm not going to really talk about because I don't tell my spiritual business and what I do behind the motherfucking scenes because I can't talk about that stuff on YouTube. Some of that stuff is not, I can't talk about it because it's too sensitive and it's too graphic. But people that know me know what the fuck is up. I'm talking about people who really know me. Really know me. I'm talking about really know me. They know what's up. But we're walking in a curse, people. We're walking in a curse. I can see it. This is a constant. I'm not walking in no curse, but I say we are because I'm black too. And this type of shit affects me too. But I'm not going to be triggered. And I'm not going to be controlled by these illusions and delusions that they put out to cause trauma and to program your subconscious mind because I have more control over my mind now. So I'm not going to be triggered by this. But I want black people to know After you do the looting, after you do the protesting, and after you get your point across, are you going to have the spiritual wisdom and knowledge to know that you are walking in a curse? After you do all of the physical stuff, then you have to do spiritual stuff to break that motherfucking curse. And the first step in breaking that motherfucking curse is realizing that you're walking in one. That's the first fucking step. And then getting your mind to a place where you're not triggered to respond to that bullshit. I'm not talking about being complacent. I'm talking about having the wisdom to look at that motherfucking shit, to study it as an occultist, and to do your motherfucking work spiritually. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to come through and say. I really don't have much more to say about this. That's it. Black people are walking in a curse. And a lot of this shit, we brought it on ourselves with how we think, how we talk, how we interact with each other, and how we have allowed others to infiltrate our minds, our energy, and how we have allowed others to suck our fucking energy and use it and manifest off of it. But we can't even manifest off of our own fucking melanin, but everybody else does. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. And let me say this too, and this may be an unpopular view, and yeah, I know that rhymes, because I can do that. Let me say this too. Black men, you need to stop inviting everybody to the motherfucking cookout. You need to stop inviting everybody to the cookout. You can do what the fuck you want to do, but you need to stop inviting everyone to the cookout, because everybody is not deserving to be in our company. And a lot of this shit is because y'all keep inviting these motherfucking non-fucking factors to the fucking cookout, giving them the motherfucking keys to the motherfucking kingdom because they smiling and grinning in your motherfucking face. Case in point, that Ryan Guzman motherfucker that plays on that show 911. He does not like black people, and I don't give a fuck what no one says. That motherfucker does not like black people. He's racist as a motherfucker, and I can tell. I can tell. He's more white than he is any fucking thing else. Okay? But these are the type of people that you let sit around and call you nigger. These are the type of people that you allow to make racist jokes about black people. And you think that motherfucking shit is cool, and it's not. Because you keep inviting all of these motherfuckers to the cookout, and then they suck your fucking energy, because a lot of times you're letting these motherfuckers suck your dick on the low. Yeah, I said it. You're letting them suck your dick, lick your balls. You fucking them up the ass, shooting sperm up in them, and they're taking your motherfucking energy and doing spell work on you. Then they coming back calling you a motherfucking nigger, while they have manifested wealth off of your fucking energy. And then you still waddling down Struggle Boulevard and landing on Poverty and Misery Lane, and they're building wealth off of your fucking energy, and then they come back in your face and call you a no good motherfucking rotten nigger and spit on you. But these are the motherfuckers you keep inviting to the fucking cookout. Oh, that's my boy. That's my boy. That's my boy right there. He cool. He aight. And this may be an unpopular view, but right now, there's no room for political correctness or being fucking polite. I'm just telling you as a spiritualist what the fuck is really going on. You have allowed a lot of these non-others into our community to suck us fucking dry. You've allowed that because you think everybody is your motherfucking friend. And that Ryan Guzman person, his excuse, I forgot all of the logistics. But his excuse was, like every racist, oh, well, I have black friends, I have Korean friends, I have all these different friends, and we all make fun of each other's culture and all this old bullshit. I mean, and you know what? That's part of the curse and the distraction too. That's part of the curse and the distraction as well. But I just wanted to throw that out there to black men. You need to stop letting all these motherfuckers come to the cookout. You need to be careful who you allow to get close to you. You need to be careful who you allow to get close to you. Because I'm going to tell you something. Everybody is always blaming Suge Knight for Tupac's death. But what about this? How come nobody ain't looking at that motherfucking bitch Madonna? Yeah, I said it. How come nobody ain't looking at her? Allegedly, let me say it like that. As another fellow spiritualist says in her videos. I'm channeling that a little bit. How come nobody never looked at Madonna? You see what I'm saying? Tupac gets killed not long after he started, interacting with her, or after he broke up with her. Am I saying Madonna killed him? No. Am I saying that he could have been her sacrifice? Maybe, allegedly. Let me say it like that. Nobody never thought about that though, did they? So black men, I'm just saying to you, and I really don't give a fuck for real, but if the spirit is talking, you need to be careful who you let around you. Now, I'm not saying this because I want to be around you, because I don't. I got enough people I'm around, okay? So it's not about being jealous. Let me be clear about that. But you're inviting danger and you're inviting trouble into our fucking community because you think everybody is your fucking friend. Everybody that smiles at you ain't your motherfucking friend. And there's another saying that I came up with as well. I didn't come up with that one, about the smiling. But every wet eye you see ain't crying tears. Every wet eye you see is not crying tears. And what that means is there are so many disingenuous people out there. And they can cry and pretend that they your mother, and that wet shit coming out their eyes ain't no real motherfucking tears. It's fake. So everybody that says they're working for you or working with you, they're not. They're not. You got to be careful who the fuck you align yourself with. See, white people, they're careful who they align themselves with. So I got to give them credit on that a little bit. They're careful. They don't just let every Tom, Dick, and Harpo come up in their motherfucking community. But see, because black people, because we are a good people and we have a good heart, we're always allowing others to join the motherfucking cookout. Not me. I'm not me. I'm suspicious of every motherfucking body until proven differently. And a lot of that has to do with how I was raised and the experiences I've had, being a gay black person living here in DC. Being backstabbed by both black men and black women, by both. So the thing is this, you got to be careful who you be inviting who you invite to the fucking cookout. Because a lot of these motherfuckers, they just want to suck your motherfucking energy. They just want to know what you know. How do you think Eminem rose to prominence the way that he did? Because black people bought his albums, black people worshipped him, and black men put him in the position that he's in. Black men did that. He sucked your energy, probably sucked your motherfucking dicks, and y'all are still waddling down Struggle Boulevard, crying and, having outbursts because you've allowed everyone, and I don't say that to be mean, because you've allowed everyone to suck your energy. You've allowed everything and everyone to suck your energy, black men. You have allowed everyone to do that. Others, They suck your fucking energy. Then you take your wealth over there to others to build and manifest off of. And then you wonder why things keep fucking happening like this. Because they're using our own fucking energy against us. But anyway, I've talked too much. I wasn't going to make this a really long video. And this video has become, let's see. How long is this video now? 40 minutes. I'm done talking. But black people are walking in a curse. They're walking in a curse. And you're being distracted. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.